Welcome back to the Circle of Kings podcast, your home for scrapping and rapping and all things combat sports. Live from the 2-6 Vietnam and the Triple P studios, here's your host, BigFace. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings. As always, bringing you the latest in scrapping and rapping from the bare knuckle world. We want to bring in, we got a special guest here and a lot of controversy and a lot, people talking about the rankings this week all over the internet. Fighters having a lot to say about it, as well as fans. And just to get a little, knowledge on the ranking system, how it comes about, we have a special guest here, Howie Atherton with KnuckleTown Rankings. Welcome him to the show. Welcome, Howie, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And thank you, Howie. Thank you very much, Howie, for coming to the show early on the West Coast time, my man.
Not a problem.
So, Howie, first off, man, before we get into the ranking, I do want to talk about something I read on your site. You did a great piece this week on Russ Maxim Jr., man, who a very beloved figure in the bare knuckle world. Russ, not only does he contribute, of course, with the championship belts and also run the Extreme BKFC site with over 35,000 followers, but just beloved in the community. And his fight with cancer, I read your guys' piece, man. It was great.
Yeah, Russ is a great guy, and anything we can do to bring attention to his situation, see if we can help him out somehow. Hopefully Eli Lilly or somebody like that will pick it up. I shared it to their site, and hopefully it'll draw some attention and he can get what he needs. Russ is a great guy. The Extreme BKFC fan site is great. They do everything they can to support the fighters and the promotion.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been nothing but a gent since I've always been a fan, but since we've been involved, getting into the media side of it, Russ has been a wealth of information and more help than we probably deserve. And just to bring the Circle of Kings audience up to date, Russ has been battling a rare form of cancer for quite some time, and he has a medicine that has been working for him, keeping him healthy. And that medicine is coming off the shelf. It's no longer available. They're not making it anymore. He's talked with his oncologist, who said he has enough until May, but after that, he's going to be without the medicine that's been keeping him healthy and alive. And the other medicines, I guess they've tried, have not worked for Russ. And we're trying to make enough noise here in the community that somewhere along the line we have to get the recipe. Like Russ said, he got insurance and they got the recipe. So I don't understand why this can't happen.
Yeah, it's unfortunately with big pharmaceutical, it's all about profits, and some people it works for, some people it doesn't, and apparently there isn't a big enough demand for it or something, uh, and it's terrible for those people that need it, and hopefully, I'm sure they have tons of that stuff stockpiled somewhere. It's just a matter of getting it released. So give them a few years supply and work and see what they can come up with.
And I
Hopefully they can
agree.
get things taken care of for them.
I agree. And I told Russ myself, shout out to you, Russ. One thing we good at is making noise. So we will continue to make noise. And I'm sure with the whole community come together, we'll get something done for Russ. And absolutely. One love, Russ. You know. So Howie, getting into the rankings, let's talk. I do have some questions. I mean, they're pretty legitimate. The rankings are great, informative for us, and they help us do what we do. How do you guys come about forming the rankings?
Okay, here's how it works. I have an algorithm. I have a database with fighters from all over the world, and I keep them separated. I will be doing some other promotions, bringing them on board so we can actually get an entire world rankings. But what I do is I have each weight class separated out in the database, and I have an algorithm that I had made for me by the guys at Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. It's just down the street,
Oh wow.
and it uses various information, and it gives you a group of 14. It pull, some classes there might not actually be 14 viable candidates, But that's what it's set at right now. Is it will bring you 14 fighters for each weight class based on like a points value for certain criteria, and so it gives you the group. And while you, if there's a champion in the group, you already know who the champion is, so you can't dispute that. So then they go into the champions position, but then the following 9 positions, or how many ever. I mean, there's 9 that there's a total of 10 that get listed on the site. But of those other fighters, we have a 5-member ranking committee, and I go through and I do what I think. I put them in the order that I think that they should be in, and then we get input. I mean, it has to be a majority rules. I get 1 vote. That's all, and we do a majority rules. I
Abs-
form it and I put it out to the committee. We have our own private group that I share things through, and I'm actually the only one that votes in the KnuckleTown in our company.
so you carry the whole everybody's vote from Knuckletown and your vote. Okay, I got you.
Yep. And then the committee members, they help us, and they're the ones that their vote counts as much as mine, because in the company itself, there's only myself and the 2 Matts, and we get various help. Maggie Elmore helps us out doing interviews, Chachi Versace, and whoever's available if we can't be there specifically.
I've definitely met some Knuckletown crew at both the events. I recently was in Columbia and at Salem, and you guys are definitely a heavy presence there. I mean, I think the rankings are pretty. It's hard to argue against the weight class rankings. There's some, interior disputes, of course, with the popularity of Mike Perry and that dispute between fighters. But I mean, that's here and there. I will say this, I have heard some rumblings about the pound for pound rankings, being that Reggie Barnett, fantastic BKFC fighter, has lost the championship, and you don't have Keith Rockstar Richardson, who's 4-0 and pretty easily defeated Reggie in that matchup there in Columbia. Uh, that's a little bit, could be debated there. And Juggernaut, I think Juggernaut,
Sure.
number one pound for pound.
The way I look at pound for pound, okay, it's if you fought in more than one weight class,
Oh yeah,
and say you're the champion in more than one weight class, well, that puts in 2 people. That would put in Luis and Lorenzo. And boy, that's pretty tough. But Lorenzo has defended his title, okay, because Luis never defended the 165 title. He got
that's
it
right.
from Joel or from Alvin Brito, and he never defended it. He's going to be fighting for it again, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah, now they just added that last
Yeah,
week. You're correct. Yes.
yeah, he and Austin Trout, and that's
Yep.
going to be a great fight. There's no doubt there. But he has never defended the 165 title, so I have to give my own personal opinion. I would have to say that it has to be Lorenzo Hunt.
Well, I mean, Circle of Kings agrees. I mean, I feel like Lorenzo Hunt is the pound for pound best fighter. He has defended it more. And Palomino, while he is an awesome fighter, he did relinquish the strap to move up. He gave up the strap and he did not defend it. So, I mean, definitely an argument there to be had, right? Uh, and of course, I talked to a lot of fans about they love Keith Rockstar Richardson, and they just feel like, and I'm sure he's working his way there.
Keith Richardson, he's a great fighter. I mean, he shocked the world really. I mean, I knew he was a tough guy, but Reggie didn't show out for that fight. I really like Reggie a lot, and that was not a typical way that I have seen Reggie fight in the past. I've been
I,
to most of the fights that BKFC's ever had. I've attended most of them.
I agree.
Um,
I mean, I've seen Reggie fight a few times, and I talked to him before that fight, and it was something just seemed off with Reggie that night. You're right. He did not, and Keith just blew through him. It was shocking. It was shocking.
Absolutely.
So that's great, man. I appreciate you giving us some insight on how that's done. That makes some sense to me. I do want to ask you, give us some history on Knuckletown because you guys are doing fantastic things for the sport. The website's very professional. You guys go check out knuckletown.com. I mean, what's the history behind you guys?
Okay, I started. I was working with another. It would have been the Hall of Fame and the Gazette because
Oh,
they're from
please
my
Gazette.
home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're from my hometown. Well, the president messed things up because he decided to make it more about him than about the fighters, and he just became more and more difficult. And then he just walked away. Well, I wasn't walking away from um the friends I made and stuff, so I stuck around. And well, there's some bad blood there, but I don't really care. And I love the promotion. I like the fighters, and I developed that database for the Gazette, and I also had rules of governance, and the rules of governance didn't afford the president of the Gazette sole say in the matter, and it's it's very similar to the WBC and the WBA and IBF. It's all a combination of how their rules of governance work. And well, he couldn't accept that because he did not have he wasn't the dictator of everything. It wasn't all about him. There was some shared and delegated responsibilities there. And well, he couldn't have that. So they never got implemented. And but I had this database and I've been collecting um, fighters from all around the world, compiling their records and everything in a database. I'm pretty sure I have more bare knuckle fighters in my database than BoxRec does. And it's kind of a nightmare at times getting everything straightened out, and but I try to keep it up as best as possible, and I go through and audit it every 3 months just to make sure I didn't miss something, and I pull all that information from there, and
Well, Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I appreciate it. I mean, because I use it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that do what I do use it. I'm always on your site. It's always got great information. You got great stories on there as well as the rankings. I mean, you're gonna catch your share of controversy when you're doing what you're doing. But as a whole, the sport thanks you. I mean, where we wouldn't have it without you, Howie, and we really appreciate what Knuckletown does.
well, thanks a lot. I know you can't please everybody, and people yell and scream at times, but I don't really care because I understand that you can't please everybody, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. You know, um, the rankings don't always come out exactly how I think that they should be, but it's a majority rules vote. I mean, you have to do that to keep it um, non-biased,
Right.
and
Absolutely. 100%.
the people in the committee, they have good knowledge of the sport. They've been watching it from the beginning, but there are no direct attachments to any promotion.
Okay. I'm
So
glad.
they know.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, Howie. And I want to talk about that. So you've been around the sport since the beginning of and it is the fastest growing combat sport in the world. Talk to us about how you feel. How's it feel, man, to know that the kind of work you've been putting in, and now to see the rest of the world starting to come around.
Oh, the evolution has been incredible. I mean, BKFC one was great, but it was very crude, you know, and just to watch how everything has progressed and it's gotten huge. Dave Feldman and his crew has done a spectacular job, really. I mean, it's amazing
Uh,
where they started and where they got to, but takes a lot of hard work. He's got a good team of people there, and they're getting it done. And I believe
Absolutely.
that 2024 here has huge things to come. We just saw the so-called biggest event in bare knuckle history, modern day anyway, and that was great. Well, we have bigger things coming.
Absolutely. I mean, BKFC 56 was amazing. Last year was amazing. And then you set up with the card they've already started out for February 2nd, the Prospect Series heating up, the big names. One thing I do want to add, I did see Houston Alexander ranked, and I'd love to see when he's going to be in action in there. Juggernaut Hunt, Houston Alexander would be a really great fight.
Oh yeah, that would be. I don't think I would wish it on Houston. Houston Alexander's a tough dude, but he's like 51 years old, something like that, 51, 52. I'm just guessing off the top of my head.
Wow.
But I
Wow.
but I
Yeah.
but I know he's right there, and I wouldn't wish Lorenzo on him really.
Well, I wouldn't
Um,
wish Lorenzo on anybody right now, to be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't
he's
wish it
on a
on anybody.
tear.
But somebody's got to go get in there in the squared circle with him, right?
Oh yeah, he's eyeing up the heavyweight title, and
Yeah, yeah.
personally, I think he's best at 205, and I would keep him there and say, look, you've got two belts because I don't know. Say he goes up and wins, it's great for him, but I don't think it's the best look for a promotion to have one person dominating so many different um, weight divisions.
Well, no, it
And
probably is not good. But I'll say this, like Lorenzo said, there ain't no champ unless he say so.
yes, that is him. That is definitely Lorenzo. And there is definitely something to that. He definitely has a say in there.
I
And
love it.
he
I got to get
stands
it on
as
a
good a
t-shirt.
chance as anybody, really. I mean, it's kind of hard to doubt him. He's proven out time and time
Ve- ve-
again.
and a very entertaining guy. I've met him a few times, man. Very entertaining. Great for the sport, in my opinion. Exciting. One of the most exciting fighters in all of combat sports, right there. Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt.
Absolutely. He found a way to market himself and promote himself, and he's one of the ground floor people, pretty much. And he pretty much has the blueprint on how to how to be successful. People
His
need to
fighting
look at
style
that.
is perfect. Yeah, they need to watch the way he fights. Right, his hand, the way he uses his hands. It's amazing.
Yeah, and the way he promotes himself. I mean, yeah, he stirs the pot. Um, I'm gonna say 90 some odd percent of that is just it's all a game.
Well,
You know,
when he walked in the ring, Lombardo caught him with a two-piece, and he ate it like nothing. Then he went on to beat him. I mean, it was exciting. He jumps in other promotions, champions' faces, which is great. I mean, I love it. I'm a fan. I love it
oh yeah, it gets the name out there. Um,
for sure.
it's not how some people would do it, but it seems to be working for him. That's sort of a AEW approach or WWE approach to things. Stir the pot, get
I
things
know
going.
that.
He has fun with it.
I'm sure some people in the promotion would rather not go that way as well, and I'm so sure it's a split thing there. Redneck is trying that same tactic with Mike Perry, hounding him, showing up at events, saying some colorful things to him. Redneck Madell, once another friend of the show and a fantastic fighter who I believe is right there at the top of the pound for pound rankings.
Oh, absolutely. He could be fighting at 185 as well. He's actually ranked number 2 at 185. He's had a lot of fights at 185, and although he has one loss, my personal opinion is that he didn't really lose that fight. That was against Hector in his debut, and
Okay,
it's
so
kind of hard to not let Hector win. I mean, the judges, that's up to them.
Well, you have a new best friend over here, and my engineer extraordinaire P is a huge redneck Mundell guy, and he's back here going crazy. When you said he don't think he lost, he's started doing his dance. He's been saying that himself here. So
Well, I
P,
was
you got
sitting
a new friend.
ringside.
There you go, P. Love you, Howie. He said, "We love you, Howie." Look
Yeah,
at
I was sitting ringside for that, and I had Dave win, and I told him after the fight back at the hotel, I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm pretty sure you won that fight." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It is what it is. That's how it goes." He's pretty good about things. He's
He's a
easy
super
enough
good
to get
dude,
along
man.
with.
Yeah, a super
Oh, for
good
sure.
dude, man. Absolutely. And that's another thing I want to say. For the last 5 to 6 months while we've been gearing up to do the show, a lot more conversations with the fighters. Man, they're gracious, they're humble. The BKFC roster is full of what I would say is stars in the making or stars already. And these guys are great guys, man. That's what I've found. And that's surprising, you know?
Oh, sure. It's a big family. I mean, sure you have a little internal strife between a few people, but very few actually. And a lot of that I believe is hype. But yeah, there are a few people that just, you're gonna have that in anything. Some people just don't get along. But
Abs-
there's very little of that.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Feldman, Nelson Lopez Jr., Josh Chasse, everybody over there at BKFC that does a fantastic job. You're right. I mean, the product that they're putting out there right now is slick. The production is good. It rivals any of the major MMA promotions, and it's way more exciting. You're going to an event where there'll be 10 fights and 8 knockouts. I mean, it's amazing the amount of action.
Oh yeah, it's fast paced, because for the most part you only got 5 2-minute rounds to get done what you have to get done. So um, the gas is on. I love it when the people show up to scrap. Um, every once in a while, you can't have the greatest fights. Sometimes the matchups aren't perfect, but on paper they may look good, but sometimes things just don't turn out that way. That's why you have, 10, 12 fights on a card, and hopefully the majority of them are going to turn out great. And that's pretty much how it is. Sometimes you have 11 of the 12 that are like, wow, that was a great show.
Oh yeah, and the people that I brought, and I brought several people, to the events, or we've had watch parties at the studio, MMA fans, and when they see it, they walk away amazed. They're like, "Yo, this is amazing." Where do I see? And it's just every time we show it. I mean, nobody does not like it. It's amazing, and I see that exploding. Like you say, we in the microwave generation. These people want they don't want to watch you wrestle no more. They want to see it happen now, and bare knuckle gives you that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'd prefer to see them stand up and scrap versus rolling around on the ground. I realize there's big skill in MMA, and UFC has some great fights too. But um, my preference is bare knuckle. I
Well,
like
it's a
boxing
different
too, but
yeah, me too. I like boxing, but it's a different sport. And what I try to really push on folks is like it's no comparison. I'm not here to compare UFC to bare or MMA. It's not you MMA to bare knuckle. It's not the same sport. So I don't like that a lot of times it gets lumped into that. It's a very different sport.
it is very different. And like Chris Camozzi learned,
Yeah. Yeah, he
um,
did.
he showed up. So did Rockhold.
Yep. Well,
You
like a
know, the,
majority, honestly, the majority of the UFC stars that have come over have ran into a bare knuckle boxer that showed them what time it was. I mean, that's honest.
Yep, it's a different game. I mean, if they were back in doing MMA, yeah, well, like Mike Perry, he might lose some of those fights.
That's right. That's
Um,
right. Well, that's right.
but it's a different game and a different skill set, different mindset.
I would also say we were talking to Rambo Russo earlier in the week, and he's on the show tonight with us. And he said, it's opposite of boxing where you go in and it's fast then slow. Whereas most, you ease into MMA, you ease into boxing, it's slow and then fast. But in bare knuckle, it's fast then slow. And that was I thought, a great way to put it.
Oh yeah, and he would definitely know. Rambo.
Yeah, he would.
His last fight that he had was amazing. I mean, he looked like a completely different person. He came out and was like balls to the wall, and took care of business.
I'm
Not
gonna tell you what, he kind of scared us. We gave him an interview, man. The dude is intense, and he is ready for this showdown February 2nd. I mean, this dude he's ready. Like that Super Saiyan deal, he really believes that, and I mean, he coming for it all. He said he wants this strap, then he wants to strap 10 pounds up, then 10 pounds up, then 10 pounds up. That's what Rambo said.
that's a that's a great goal to have, but good luck to him.
Good luck, absolutely. So, Howie, first of all, man, Circle of Kings, we want to thank you for taking time out to do this. It's a great interview, a lot of information for us. I look forward to you putting out the later this year, a ranking with BKFC, BYB, these Gamer, these other organizations with bare knuckle boxers. I look forward to that, and I appreciate the work you do for bare knuckle, man. Friend of the show, we hope to have you on in the future, man. Thank you very much for your time,
Sure.
dude.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and I wish you well. Keep
Absolutely.
doing what
Well,
you're doing.
thank you very much. We will, man. And we're going to link up to your media there. Hopefully, we'll be able to work together some more in the future, man. Howie Atherton, KnuckleTown rankings right there, man. Everybody. Thank you very much, Howie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howie.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Well, Circle of Kings, there you had it. Howie Atherton with KnuckleTown rankings, man. As we move forward tonight of the show, BKFC 57 is looming on February 2nd. We got a power packed show with all combatants from that night, man. And also a little later, Chris Lytle to wrap up the entire pay per view there. And once again, shout out to Russ Maxim Jr., man. All prayers with you, man. The whole BKFC family is behind you, man. Uh, and stay tuned right here. We'll take a break. Circle of Kings, man. Scrapping and rapping. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings podcast, your home for scrapping and rapping and all things combat sports. Live from the 2-6 Vietnam and the Triple P studios, here's your host, BigFace. Welcome to the Circle of Kings. And as always, we're getting you geared up this show for BKFC 57, which going down February 2nd live, Hollywood, Florida, man. One of the most exciting cards in the history of BKFC, and they're starting the year off right. And as we like to do here, we surprise you with guests, man. And tonight, no other, we got my man Alberto El Indio Blas, hot bantamweight, who has a tough matchup here at BKFC 57. Welcome, El Indio, to the program, and welcome to Circle of Kings, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's up, man?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Everything perfect, I work hard. I'm ready to go. I'm ready, you know. I'm ready
Yeah, so
for
what happened right there, brother? I'm sorry, we working this out. Hang on, Indio. Okay,
yeah.
I'm back. All right,
Yeah, okay,
so
okay.
all right, we're good to go. So you got a tough matchup at BKFC 57 with Daniel
Yes,
the
sir.
Machete Alvarez.
Yes, sir.
Um, you're getting close to the fight. What's your
Yeah.
preparation like? What's the
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, and I only stay focused and you know and enjoy the moment. Every time I go to inside the cage and enjoy. You guys can see my face, how I'm walking. How I'm ready to destroy my opponent. I'm gonna do the same. My fight has to be ready because I'm going to try to finish a free round.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 4-0 inside the squared circle, and you look pretty comfortable in there. You look like
Yeah,
you look right at home inside there.
because I said before, I can be comfortable and
Oh, we lost him. Maybe he's not having good
knuckle.
Wi-Fi. I got you back. We got you back.
Okay,
All
okay,
right.
okay.
So,
And I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable wherever and pack. I'm ready to throw a lot of punch. This time I'm ready.
while I got you here, Indio, I do want to ask you. So you've got Cuban upbringing. How long have you been in the United States fighting over here?
Okay, 8 years already. 8 years.
8 years.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So what was that like coming over here from Cuba?
everything changed. My life changed. I had a perfect life. My mom, I'm 1 month ago coming from Cuba, and I have a perfect life right now. And I have a perfect camp, and yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for make ready big show again.
We're losing him again.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So let's talk a little bit about Daniel Alvarez. I think his style fits you. I think it should
Yeah.
be a really exciting fight between El Indio and the Machete.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my opponent is good fight. I respect every opponent coming from me. And yeah, I know the guy coming from
You definitely
for.
we're talking about the rankings. We're really I don't know the I'm sorry about these glitches. I don't know if
It's
you're
okay. It's okay.
are you okay? Um so I do want to talk to you about you're in the bantamweight division, which is a tough division. You got of course Reggie Barnett, one of the best fighters in bare knuckle, and
Yes,
you've
sir.
got Keith Richardson there who just won the title. Yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really tough division. How do you feel like? You feel like you could go for the championship one day?
Hey, it's supposed to go that fight for the championship. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And God no give me that time the opportunity. But I said thank you, thank God for every opportunity coming. You know, and Daniel is coming, and I'm ready to Daniel. I know Daniel good fight, but I'm gonna do it same and do it every fight before. That's
Well,
it.
absolutely. Well, you're undefeated, so if you do the same
Yes,
thing you've
sir.
done before, you should be
Yes,
five and
sir.
zero on
Yes, sir.
February 2nd.
Yes, sir. You
So I
know.
do want to ask you. I know that you have a wrestling background and you also boxed. What do you
Yeah.
like about the bare knuckle? What is it about bare knuckle that you like?
Okay, bare knuckle made me use my wrestling, and I don't think so nobody have it that wrestling I have it, that background the wrestling have it, I don't think so nobody and BKC completely have it, you know, and yeah, I'm comfortable because I can use my underhook, I can move my feet, I can move super good, and yeah, every time I got you, I can throw a lot of punch, and you have to be ready because punch is coming from everywhere,
What I notice, India, when I watch your fights, you are very dangerous in the clinch. You look like
Yes,
I mean
sir.
that. If they let you get your hands on them, it's a bad night.
Yeah, and the other thing, I not only I can go to the clinch, I can move outside too. You know, I can move outside. I can do a lot of things. Not only clinch. My opponent
No, no,
has to be ready. You know, has to be ready.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're a well-rounded fighter. I think I'm looking forward to this card, and this is one of the most exciting cards I've ever seen in bare knuckle. But not only your
Yeah.
fight, but there's some really we got some great fighters on. We got Rambo Russo on the show tonight. We've
Yes,
got
sir.
the baboon Palomino on the show tonight, as
Yeah.
well as you. So I mean, this card, we're just really excited about it, and I think it's a big opportunity.
Yeah. I think after I'm finishing my fight, you know, everything gonna be good because I work for that fight. I working for that fight. Everything gonna be good. I'm deserve the title shot. I'm deserve. I'm deserve the title
So
shot.
you got any predictions for us, Indio? You think you're gonna knock him out?
And every time I go to inside the cage, I go to destroy my opponent. But I work for 10 minutes. I work for 10 minutes. My opponent has to be ready for 10 minutes. But if you give me one opportunity, you out. Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for everything.
That's what
Yeah.
we like to hear. And hey, it's all lions, no sheep in the BKFC, right?
Yes, sir. You already know. Yeah.
I think I froze him. He froze again. So Indio,
Yes, sir.
we're excited and we want to thank you, man, for taking time with your training to talk to all the fans and everyone who knows the Kings. We're huge fans of not only BKFC but you and your career as well.
I want to say thank you for you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for bringing me to a show. And I'm gonna say hello 135. I'm back.
And I want to ask you, I'm gonna be live at BKFC 57 ringside, so I'll be there to see it live.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there anything anybody you want to shout out while you're here? Any companies, any promotion you want to shout out?
Hey, always I'm representing El Toro Loco Churrasqueria, you know,
That's on the freestyle.
and yeah, always El Toro Loco Churrasqueria, you know. I'm working on Sativa Live, RNC, Backbone, you know, and yeah, I want to say thank you all my sponsorship, you know, and be ready for February 2nd. I'm gonna make a big show again, you know.
Well, you heard it right there. El Indio says BKFC 57. He's going to make a big show. Well, you are now a friend of the show, man. Always. We'd love to have you on again after the fight. Announce whatever you'd like to for your next fight coming up. We thank you very much, Indio, man. And good
Thank you,
luck on
my friend.
February 2nd.
Thank you,
God bless you.
thank you. You
All
too.
right, brother.
Bye.
All right. Absolutely. Well, there you had it, Circle of Kings, man. A tough fighter, El Indio Blas. He's going against Daniel the Machete Alvarez, just one of many of this stacked card, BKFC 57, February 2nd, live in Hollywood, Florida. We're going to take a break. We're going to run a little dizzle break for you and come right back with more action and, of course, more on BKFC 57 tonight, right here on the Circle of Kings. Scrapping and rapping, baby.
Joke got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some smoke? Cause it's up. I be dizzled up. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gonna lie, I cannot get enough. When Canales said I need another one. Gonna have you coming back for more. But go get it while it's hot. Before it be sold out in your stores. That dizzle.
Welcome back to the Circle of Kings podcast, your home for scrapping and rapping and all things combat sports. Live from the 2-6 Vietnam and the Triple P studios, here's your host, BigFace. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings. I'm BigFace, man, and listen, you know we're anticipating this BKFC 57 on February 2nd, man. We cannot wait. The card is lined up full of dope fights. And speaking of that, right now we are being joined by the number 3 ranked flyweight contender, Matt Rambo Russo, right here on the Circle of Kings. What's up, Rambo? How you doing, bro?
What it is, my brother? Just hanging out, you know, New Year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, man. I know you say you was in training when I messaged you, so there wasn't no partying for you on New Year's. So you was with the fam.
Yeah, gotta be with the fam. Like, you know, February 2nd. I'm coming to
you
make a statement. Coming to make a statement February 2nd. So, you know, just grind, you know. The fun could come after that.
Well, absolutely. Since you mentioned that, let's get right into it. I mean, you got Justin Street, February 2nd, man. What do you think about this matchup? I know this is the first, you know, he's coming into the BKFC for his first fight. He's got an MMA background. What do you think about this matchup for you, Rambo?
You know, it's okay matchup. You know, I'm gonna get him going like the rest of them. You know, you feel me? You know, he chose the wrong person to come make his debut with, but it's all right. You know, he gonna find out. I'm gonna stop him real quick. You know, I'm just trying to make statements right now. Hard,
I mean,
you know, I ain't taking nothing from him. You know, he's a, he got what, like 7 fights. He's like 7, like he got a couple of fights, so he experienced. But I'm just, you know, showing what levels is.
well, definitely, man. I mean, you've had 2 fights in the BKFC, and those 2 fights don't even total 4 minutes. You got grenades on the end of your hands, it appears. So, I mean, he's in for a rough fight on February 2nd, I'm sure.
Yes, you know, they say my right hand is like a shotgun, so you know he just got to be well.
So, by the way, that card is slam full. BKFC 57, man, they're starting the year off crazy with this card. Uh, I do want to talk to you about, man, I saw something when I was doing the research for on this interview, man. I noticed you got a real strong tie with Goku and the whole Dragon Ball Z mystique. Talk about that a little bit.
I grew up watching Goku like Dragon Ball Z, like I grew up to that, so I'm real deal
You
like
lose him there?
a big. I'm not. I don't. I'm not a big fan of anime, but I like a couple of anime shows. But that one it just sticks out from when I was a child. So I feel like I am Goku. You get what I'm saying? Just through the how he think, how he feel of motivation, how he feel like he gotta be the best, and even if when he's beaten, he feel like he gotta get back up and fight again. Like I just like the determination and the willpower that he have. So I feel everything Goku coming from. So that's why I feel like I am the Goku of this universe.
Well, and you got a couple fighters that they use that Saiyan lifestyle to
But
motivate them.
it's not like how I do it. I'm different. I really just stand out with it.
Well, so I want to ask you this now. You're the number 3 ranked flyweight in the division, and I read an article where you were saying, "Listen, this is the last fight I'm gonna take outside of the top 5." I know you got your eyes on Dodson. I know you want your fights to be against top 5 fighters going forward. Is that right?
Yes, most definitely. Like I said, I'm trying to make statements. I'm not I'm not in this game for a short time. I'm in it for a long time. You get what I'm saying? I love bare knuckles. So for me to start solidifying my name as one of the best right now, I gotta start fighting the best right now. You get what I'm saying? So I'm already sacrificing a lot, making 125. You get what I'm saying? I never even been down that weight, but I'm doing it just so I could make a statement that I'm finna become the 125 champion, beat Dodson, beat whoever steps in my way, beat them at 125, move up to 135, do the same, and then go to 145. You get what I'm saying? I'm making statements.
Hell yeah.
I'm not here. I'm not just here for no bread. I'm here to make a legacy. Because when this become one of the biggest sport, because it's the biggest sport to me, and like everybody that I know that's in my circle or fan base, they love bare knuckles. So we know this is gonna be bigger than UFC altogether. Like when it get its its
Well, when
thing
it
going.
gets
You
its
get what I'm
time to shine, right?
when it get its
So
time. You get yeah. When it get its time to shine. So I want to be one of the names in that book when it gets there. You get what I'm saying?
absolutely,
Like a Nate
absolutely,
Diaz
man.
shit. Like
Yo,
a Nate
Circle of
Diaz shit.
Kings agrees with you 100%. You got the fastest growing combat sport in the world, bare knuckle. You got the premier organization in that sport, BKFC. I mean, you've got the best athletes in bare knuckle in that. It's amazing. Every time we bring somebody on that's, an MMA fan, and then we show them and we introduce them to the world of bare knuckle, oh, they're a bare knuckle fan now because
Yeah,
it's the excitement
it's
and your
exciting.
personalities. It's so exciting, man. I do want to ask you about this now. So here at Circle of Kings, man, we had the privilege of interviewing JR the Lion Ridge recently, and he spoke with a lot of respect about you and said that would be a fight he would love to take, Russo versus Lion Ridge. What do you think about that fight?
Oh yeah, it'll be a good fight. I like that fight too. I ain't got nothing but respect for him too. I've been seeing what he's doing in the bare knuckle, see how he moving. I like, you feel me? Got nothing but respect. But like I said, bro, I feel I'm the top guy of this division. You get what I'm saying? So anybody that want to line up, I'm just gonna knock him down like domino, easy, plain and simple. So Ridge want to jump in that water, he can see how deep it get. But it's nothing but respect to him at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And behind the boards, we got my man P. He's always behind the boards. He does a lot of research for the show and setups. And Chauncey Wilson has expressed that he's upset with the rankings as they came out, and he doesn't think he should be 4 once again in your division. What do you think? What do you think about Chauncey Wilson? Got a little beef with his ranking.
Well, that's him and his personal issue. Everybody gonna have the way they feel about certain things. So I don't know what he's going through. He probably is going through some you know fuckery within his rankings or something. I don't know. You feel me? So I can't speak upon his behalf. But I just hope he get that situated and straight. You feel me?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, man, I just can't tell you how much we're looking forward to this matchup with Street Russo. I mean, Rambo, there's so many, like every fight on that card, it could be a headliner. You could headline right now. So I do feel like once if you take care of business with Justice Street, I don't see why you don't have a championship, tried next. Wouldn't
Man,
that be
I
what you
don't know
were
why
looking
they
for?
be having me on these prelims. That's the only thing I'd be upset with these. You feel me? Take me off these prelims. Like I'm a main event. Like people love to see me. Like come on, like that pre. I'm not the fan of the prelim game. That's the only thing I'm having my problems in, being in these prelims. Like, I'm trying to come out having my music playing where I can feel myself and my aura elevate as I get into that ring. I'm doing it to the music they giving it me to. You get what I'm saying? So my
Yeah,
only
nah,
problem
you
is
got to have your own shit.
yeah, bro. They keep putting me on these prelims. Me and my fans gone once I'm done.
Well, I'll tell you this: you keep. I mean, you're just knocking everybody out they put in front of you. I mean, that's what we're all here to see. Uh, nobody. I mean, 4 minutes, 2 fights, less than 4 minutes. So
Yeah.
let's hope Justin Street, can handle the barrage because you come in here and take care of business. You're a knockout artist.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Well, man,
I'm a,
first of all, go ahead. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
I'm finna say like that. Yeah, you ain't lying though, bro. Like that's my goal though. Knock them all out.
You freeze.
Knock them all out.
I lost you there for a second, Rambo. Go ahead and say what you was just saying, brother.
I said, yeah, I appreciate that. That's my goal right now, to knock them all out. Just knocking them out. You feel me? But I do want to go them rounds though at the same time, because when I do get a shark that's really like swimming, like I got to be able to swim with them. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. After Justin, because I know he going to sleep first round. You know, I'm a fortune teller. I'm telling y'all that. I'm predicting the future right now. Going to sleep first round. Once I get him up out of there, then we could get us a little, something going. You feel me? Give me a couple of rounds up in there, so I could get the feel of it. You feel me?
So you heard it right here on Circle of Kings. First round knockout. Rambo Russo said he's gonna take care of business quickly. And yeah, I understand. You need those rounds. You need that time in. I'm sure you spar hundreds and hundreds of rounds. You train every day religiously. So, but you can't really get those actual reps until you end the fight. I gotta
Because
say,
the
man.
Mm-hmm.
fight different, man. Especially bare knuckle. This fighting different. You get what I'm saying? I could go 10, 12 rounds in the gym and go 3 rounds in the real fight and starting to feel winded type. You get what I'm saying? So like, fighting I guess is just the more adrenaline, the more hype, the more the atmosphere. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to go them extra rounds, get somebody that's gonna give me them extra rounds. My neck problem after this fight.
Yeah, you get that tension built up, man, when you go in, especially, man, it takes a special individual. And I don't think people understand this, what it takes to go in there bare knuckle into this fight in front of thousands and millions watching. And this ain't no boxing. This is no feeling out. It's immediate, right? I mean, you in there. It's, that's what me as a boxing fan.
I learned that though. I learned that my first fight with Larry, like out the gate, and then it was like the punch is like a flat, like the hand came like a flat, you get what I'm saying? Because I'm so used to seeing that glove where I could catch, slip, or dip. It's different. That bitch was like a flash. So I really did have to learn like bare knuckle is fast then slow. Boxing is slow then fast. Bare knuckle is fast and like this out the gate. But then once that adrenaline and everything start to wear down, it gets slow. So you just got to be prepared for the long run. You get what I'm saying? Ready for
Yeah,
the
that's
long
the
run.
that's the dopest way anybody's described it to it. We talked about to a lot of fighters, and they say, it's very different. The speed's different. The pressure's different when you get in there. And they all say, I go in there, especially ex-boxers or people with boxing background. I go in there, I'm used to feeling it out, and you realize you got to be gas pedal as soon as you get in there. But what you just said was, it's fast and slow. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense when you watch the
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, I'm really into fighting. Like, I'm gonna let you know, I don't watch football, I don't watch basketball, but I watch nothing but contests. If you ain't I don't watch it. That's all I think about. It's to the point where I'll watch WWE. I watch wrestling just because it's a storyline behind some fighting. You get what I'm saying? That could be
I
that's
do.
my TV show. So yeah, I just like anything that's physical contact. So I understand everything. Like maybe after my fight career, I could be an analyst and I could be a comment in that field because I really do pay attention to everything. I really do into fighting. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Intelligent fighters make great analysts. I do say you said something earlier that really interests me, man. When you say, I want to get the 125 strap, then I want to move to 135 and get that strap, then I want to move to 145 and get that strap. Man, to hear that as a fight fan, man, we love to hear shit like that. I mean, that is awesome. That's dope. I mean,
I
who
speak it in the
that's
universe so I can manifest it.
You definitely want to go down as on the Rushmore of the bare knuckle. And you're right. I mean, you're right there in the groundbreaking. It's blowing up. This is gonna be a huge year, I think, 2024 for
I
BKFC.
know. hmm I know so too, bro. This gonna be the year.
Well, man, first of all, I want everybody in the audience to make sure that you go check out Matt Rambo Russo, February 2nd, BKFC down in Hollywood, Florida. We'll be taking on Justin Street. Man, a pleasure. Thank you for giving some of your time out of your training, man, to stop by the Circle of Kings, man.
Yeah, most def, bro. I appreciate y'all for having me, bro. And next time y'all want me on, I'm always on, bro.
My man, the friend of the show, we will definitely call you on that. We'll have you back after the fight so you can tell us if you remember how quickly that fight ended on February 2nd.
Most def, nothing but love my way, bro. I'm gonna get y'all the knockout of the lifetime, boy. Watch.
Well, I'll be there ringside down there in Hollywood, so I'll see it ringside with you there, Russo. So
Yeah.
I
Most
look
def.
forward to it. All right, man. Well,
Most
thanks a lot, man. Have a great evening. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Dumb love, bro. Bless up.
And anybody you want to shout out or anything you pubbing before you get off?
I want to shout out All In Management, man. They doing a hell of a job getting me and putting me in the position where I'm at today. I want to thank the universe. That's number one. Because if it wasn't for the universe, a lot of this stuff would have even been happening for me. Ain't want no telling what I'd be. So I just thank the universe for putting everything in position, all in from being there for me, and myself for knocking everybody out, and going to continue knocking everybody
And
out.
definitely thank myself for knocking
Oh yeah,
everybody the
and
hell
thank
out.
yeah, I apologize. And thank the Circle of Kings because y'all seeing me and y'all seeing the evolution of me. You get what I'm saying? So man, shout out to y'all too. Y'all going to keep helping me prosper too.
Absolutely. And shout out to P, man, my man behind the boards, because he's like, man, this Rambo Russo guy looks like a killer. You got to get him on the show.
Hey, shout out to P man because he's seeing what he's supposed to see.
All right, well, man, good luck. Good luck on February 2nd, Rambo, man. And we'll be pulling for you, brother. We'll talk to you
All right,
later.
most deaf.
My man. There you have it, Circle of Kings, man. The number 3 ranked flyweight in BKFC, Matt Rambo Russo. The card on February 2nd is just stacked, man. Justin Street, Rambo Russo, two cats that love to bang, and Rambo got grenades on the end of them hands. Go check out his last 2 fights on YouTube. But stay tuned right here at Circle of Kings. We got a lot more coming your way tonight on BKFC 57. Scrapping and rapping. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings podcast, your home for scrapping and rapping and all things combat sports. Live from the 2-6 Vietnam and the Triple P studios, here's your host, BigFace. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings, man. As you know, this whole episode, we're bringing you up to speed on BKFC 57 going live, Hollywood, Florida, February 2nd. And who better to help us break down the main card and some really interesting fights than UFC and combat sport veteran and legend and the voice of BKFC, Chris Lights Out Lytle. What's up, Chris?
What you got there, buddy? Excited for this card you're talking about, man. We got so many good things coming up. Man, this is a huge card.
Man, I swear I'm so happy to have you, man, because we've been geeked about it. You know, we've been lucky enough to talk to a lot of fighters involved the last few weeks, and we cannot wait, man. I can't wait to get on the plane and head down there. All right.
I mean, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's like negative 20 here right now where I'm at. But yeah, I look forward to being in Miami myself. It's cold as
So
can be. I don't want to be here.
absolutely. Well, before we get started on the card, though, I do have a couple things I want to ask you about. I know that you've been heavily involved in the prospect and the tryout series, and I
Yeah.
believe you were recently in Virginia with that, right?
100%, man. We had a great tryout there. It was kind of thrown together last minute. I was a little nervous, but we had about 30 people show up, some great prospects, some great talent right there, and man, we just had a good time, and it was good because we're going to be able to see a lot of those people on that card we're putting on February 16th. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. We talked to a couple guys that went to that. They were very excited. They were very impressed with you. They said, of course, man, Chris Lytle was there, man. He was giving us all these points and tips. I said, man, the man lives and breathes this sport. You know what I'm saying? You definitely do, Chris, man. You
Well, I've
definitely
been
do.
doing I've been doing combative sports at some level since 1998. It was funny. We had a couple people there I was talking to. I said, when you're born? They're like 1999. I said, oh my God. Oh, good Lord. I started doing this before you were born. Yeah, you might want to listen to me.
Absolutely. You might have forgot more than they've learned. But so, man, I mean, it's huge that you're involved in that. And the Prospect Series is very important to keeping that pipeline brewing. And I know y'all have done a great job with that, man. So I just want to big ups to you
Man,
on that.
I mean, to me, like I've been doing this stuff forever, and I look at my my career. It's in the rearview mirror, and I look back at it with great things. But these guys, they got the windshield. They're looking forward, man. So I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to help them create, those memories in the back by having them happen right now. They gotta have a path to go forward and opportunity. It's hard to find opportunity in this line unless you're at one of the big gyms, one of the big places. Not with us, not with BKFC. You come, you try out, you work hard. We've had people come 2, 3, 4 tryouts. If you come here for a tryout and you're getting better, I'm going to put you on something eventually.
And that is absolutely BKFC has given a tremendous amount of opportunities with the amount of fights they put on, not just the main cards with 14 fights, but the prelims. You got the Prospect Series, you got the trials. I mean, you guys have events, so many events, man.
That's what I love. I mean, in this prospect series, it makes so much sense. We're doing tryouts. That's where we're getting our people from. And then they come to the prospect series. You do well there, we're going to send you to BKFC, a numbered one, one of the big deals. If not, hey, maybe this wasn't for you. We're going to find out now. There are not going to be people fighting on, these big cards anymore who don't have any experience. You're going to have experience if you make it to the big show.
That's right. And that's right. You guys have created, it took you a few years, you've created a pipeline. And
Yeah.
there's one more thing. Us both being, man, me and you both, Chris, we're both very dedicated fathers. And I
Yeah.
was lucky enough to get my hands on an autographed copy of your
Hey!
Lights Out on Bullying, man. And I think it's great that a dude in your position would do something like this. Let's talk a little bit about this, man.
Man, I wrote that many years ago, man. I have 4 kids. My youngest son, Jake, has autism. So it always just really made me more aware of that. A lot of people who are being picked on, being bullied, and nobody chooses to have autism. Nobody chooses to be funny looking. Nobody chooses these certain things that people make fun of people for. And it just kills me. Suicide rate is so high amongst kids. They don't know how to deal with problems anymore. But I just can't imagine something negative happen because people were picking or bullying your kids. So I feel like I had an ability to do something. I wrote a book about it, and I think if you read it, it talks about you're never going to get people to quit picking on people, but what you can do is teach people how to stand up for other kids. That's my message in there. If you have the ability to and you can, you better stand up for that kid who can't stand up for himself.
Absolutely. So I have a 19-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter, and my 7-year-old daughter and I read this book together. And it's very, she encounters bullying at school. You
I'm
know what I'm
sure.
saying? She comes home and she talks about bullying at school. I got her in Taekwondo. I got her in this and that. She's gonna be able to be one of the, stand up for what's right. But I think it's great that you did that because I've been finding, Chris, as I interview fighters, the toughest dudes don't have to act tough, man. You
No,
know,
man. People don't think that. People think they're all these like, no, man. I don't fight for it. Like that doesn't happen. You don't go. The people who act like that, I don't think they're tough. I'm around, George St. Pierre, Randy Couture, those guys, nicest guys
toughest
you ever
guys.
meet. They're humble.
That's
They're
right.
nice. You see people not acting like that. You're like, okay, they're not confident in themselves. Those bullies are just, you know, they're insecure people. If you're secure, you don't act like that. You want to help other people. You want other people to be happy. You're happy. You want them to be happy. So I try and talk to kids like this. I think, I'm going to start doing some more. I used to do a lot of these schools and talk to them before COVID. I had a bunch of schools lined up. COVID happened. They were like, oh, you're done. I've been so busy doing the BKFC, I haven't really been able to get back into that. But I think I'm going to try and combine these two. Maybe we go on the road. I'm trying to set something up now when we go to Miami, and I'm going to try and do a school there, I think, on the Friday. That's
I
my
think
goal.
you definitely should, man. And you hit the nail on the head. Confident people don't act that way. If you're
Nah,
confident in yourself, you want to do better around you. Want to help the people around you because you're good. You're good. You're good in who you are. Right.
exactly. That's the point. The people doing this are not happy. They might think people might think they're happy. They're not happy with themselves.
All right, man. I appreciate taking you down. Now I'm going to bring you in here for the moneymaker. I mean, let's talk
Let's do
about
it.
this card. Chris. Let's
Woo,
talk about this card, man.
woo.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm gonna start at the bottom. I'm gonna pick your brain because nobody knows better than you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Edgard Palazada versus Derek Gates, man. That's the first on the main card, right? What are we looking at there?
I mean, here's the thing. People might sleep on Derek Gates. Dude can fight. I mean, he's got some experience and he's just been getting better. I feel like he comes when he thinks he might win now. Before I think he was just coming to fight, but dude's coming to win. So that could be a very interesting fight right there. Like I said, experience means an awful lot in this sport. So don't count anybody out.
It definitely does. Are there any in the lower before we get on the main big fights? Any of them that stand out to you? I mean, I can't wait to see the Matt Russo Justin Street fight.
Of course,
I
that's
think.
going to be great. I'm really excited. I don't even know if it's on your sheet yet. We just had a fight get added today. Perdoma, is he on there? You got him, or is he on there yet?
Yeah, I got Louis Lopez, Brian Duran. No, I do not have Perdomo on my sheet. Nope, and my sheet is I thought was pretty new, but
Well,
no.
we just got this done today, so they might not even be announced yet. Maybe I might want to be quiet.
Oh,
Hey, regardless, hey, if I just announced it, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was announced there, but
well,
that dude,
this won't this. Hey, Chris, this show don't come out for a few more days, so you good
all
to
right,
go.
good. It'll be good.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, Perdoma's one of the guys I'm saying we need to focus on. He's a heavyweight. He's a lighter heavyweight, but this guy's had like 200 fights out of Cuba. Doesn't even speak English. He's just an assassin, dude. He's gonna be coming out there throwing bombs. This guy's gonna be a problem for a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. He's undersized for the heavyweight, but man, he hits fast, he hits hard, and he's explosive.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. And those Cuban fighters, man, they're a bit of a mystery because they'll have huge careers you never even heard of. And then they pop up
Exactly.
when they escape the Iron Curtain and they're badass. You know,
Yep.
we
And
talked
he's one of
we
them. He's one of them. So watch out for him.
so I do want to ask you, man. I know you like Rambo Russo, right? And you got grenades on them
Right.
hands, man. I don't expect that to go the distance.
Nah, that ain't going the distance, man. One way that either he definitely looks for the knockout. So we'll see. But a lot of people when you go for the knockout, you open yourself up. You know what I mean? So and you go for the whole thing, you better knock him out. You better get him out quick because if not, you're gonna be gassed. You're gonna be tired, and all it takes is one punch and bare knuckles. So. Those are the kind of fighters I like. Go for the gusto. Go out under your shield. If you lose, that's great.
Well, we spoke to him recently, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get the championship at this weight. Then I'm going up 10 pounds, and I'm going up 10 pounds." That's his attitude, though, and you have to love that attitude.
Of course, man. What else? I mean, if you don't think like that, how are you fighting? I always said you have to be delusional to be a great fighter. You have to be able to get beat and then say, yeah, they ain't never gonna happen again. And then win a couple more, get beat, yeah, they ain't never gonna happen again. You have to just think, I'm the best guy in the world, and if not, how do you go out there? I don't know how you go out there if you don't think you're the best.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't do it. That's why we talk to you. So I want to ask you this: Christine Vicens and Sydney Smith, this female matchup on the main card.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, Vincennes has been tough as nails. She's a good in a couple fights. She had a good jab that cut J. Marsan Wong open and cut her. Got the win by stoppage right there. That was fixing to be a real good fight. But this Sydney Smith is tough, man. She's tough as nails. That last fight, I think she learned a lot. She came in and she dominated the first round, got the knockdown, was winning. But that Shaw just tied her up, pushed her around, wore her down. I think she learned a lot like, oh, you have to pace yourself a little bit. You can't go all out that first round. I mean, it works when it works and you get the knockout, but if not, you're in some trouble. So I think she learned a lot that fight. This should be a very interesting fight. These female, like, 125, 115-pound females we got, I mean, they come to fight, man. It's going to be a good one.
Man, we do. There are some great female action in the BKFC. My favorite action I found in combat sports, Christine Ferreira. I mean, she's exciting, man, and I really I would love to see her fight anybody. I mean, just go get anybody, Cyborg, whoever you got, put him in front of her. So, uh, let's talk about the Boya Duran Louis Lopez fight. Now I do definitely need to hear your thoughts on that fight because I don't know a lot about these two fighters.
Oh man, Lopez has been right there. He fought for the title. He fought for the first person to fight for the 145-pound title. Lost a close fight. Same thing happened to him. He thought he was going to go out there, get a good knockout against Kai Stewart. But I mean, Kai did the same thing we just talked about. Melanie Shaw did. He got him in. He wore him down. Like I said, that works usually one time. You figure that out. Okay, I can't waste my energy. I got to be smarter. I got to be more, conservative with the way I throw punches. And throw these uppercuts when they come in. So I think he learned a lot that fight right there. So the thing with Duran is Duran's never beat a guy with a winning record. You know what I mean? So this is going to be his first real test, in my opinion. So these two guys are right there, right around that title picture. I think the winner is really going to take another step towards that. They might be one fight away. So this is a huge test, I think, for both guys.
Loaded, loaded. Uh, John Michael Escoboza and Isaac Doolittle. We get every fight. It just seems like every time it goes up, you're like, whoa, man. I mean, these are some great fights.
I mean, Escoboza's got some experience. I think he's had about 10 fights, bare knuckle, man. I think he's only lost one or two. I don't
Yep.
know. He's done really well. Now,
He's like 8-2 or something like that.
he's got this really good long jab. He has that southpaw stance, so he has that right jab that just
That's
cuts people
difficult.
up. He's in their face the whole time. Real long reach, which is 100% the opposite of Doolittle. Doolittle is a short guy with
You got to
short
be in the
arms.
pocket. Yep.
Yeah, and he'll tell you if I can't get inside, I'm gonna lose. That's what he always. I mean, but
Wow.
here's the thing: he has been better than anybody I can think of, pretty much, at making you fight his fight. Maybe Kai Stewart's been better, but he fights his fight. People think, oh, it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna keep him outside. You're not gonna keep him outside. You want to keep him outside. It's not that easy. He has a way of making you fight his fight. That's getting inside, grinding, pushing you around. If he does that, he's able to wear people down.
And in bare knuckle with the Muay Thai rules, he has more of an opportunity to do that. It takes a little bit of that advantage away. Like in boxing, he may have a huge reach advantage, but with the Muay Thai clinching, you're able to use your hands. It's a little different, right?
If you have a good entry, if you know how to get in the head movement, boom, boom, and get inside, now all of a sudden the guy with the shorter arms has the advantage. It's not the guy with the longer arms. So um, if he can continue to get in without getting hit with that long jab, he's gonna have a good night. If Escoboza can keep him at bay with those jabs, it's gonna be a good night for Escoboza. So
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. That was a great reference you made. Nobody makes them fight their fight like Kai Stewart does. Every single fight, man, he makes you fight his fight.
man,
That was a great
I've become
reference.
a big believer in him. I thought this last fight was gonna be tough for him. I thought
Yep.
that Howard Davis had really been landing those uppercuts well. I thought, man, he's going to hit him with all those uppercuts. That's it. Kai proved to me, like, no, he has good entries and good exits. If you have that, it's a wrestler's advantage. I mean, he gets in there and wears you down. Everybody's tired after the first round, and he's not. So that's it. He got a huge advantage right now. It's going to be hard to beat.
And he is tight inside, man. He is super tight inside, and he gets back out again.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
All right, so I've been seeing Albert Incline. He's been very busy on the internet for the last several weeks, man. Chirping every single day. Albert Incline, Chris Garcia. What do you think about this fight? Fights out Lytle. What you think?
I mean, Albert, his first fight a little underwhelming, but everybody's first fight's a learning process. He really looked good his second fight when he gets the undefeated guy, looked fantastic, shocked a lot of people. We've had many people who right in a row, I feel like they had their first fight, didn't go their way. You thought, they're not that good. Second fight, I was like, oh my God, this is a different fighter. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. So he's going to go up there against Garcia. Garcia's going to have this home field advantage. He's going to be feeling good. That's a fight, man. That's a coin toss fight. Should be a great one. I don't know.
A lot of them are coin toss fights, and that's another thing
Yeah.
about bare knuckle. Like you said, I mean, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna love to see what the BKFC bets looks like on these fights
Well,
because
that's the
it's gonna be
thing,
tough.
man. I go to certain fights. You know who's going to win every fight. There's an A side and a B side. You know what I mean? Man, I don't know who's going to win a lot of these fights.
No, these fights look like A side on A side.
They are. A lot of them are. I mean, they're two guys we're pushing, and we're like, hey, whoever wins, you advance towards the title. So put them in together. Or like, I don't. And people act like I have a big favorite. I'm like, man, I just want good fights. I don't have favorites in it. I don't have a dog in this fight. I want the best dog to win the fight. You know what I mean? I want the best dog out there because that's a grinder, man. That's gonna get in there and that's gonna get people watching because that's what I want people to see this stuff and be like, man,
Man,
look,
you good. Hey, I don't know anybody that's less unbiased than you. Everybody knows that. Everybody we talk to, all the fighters we talk to, they all have nothing but good things to say about you, Chris. And you always unbiased. You give what you think. You've never told me who you think's gonna win, lose, whatever. You just give your thought on it. Which hey, you're not biased.
right?
You
I
got the
mean,
word.
like I said, and be honest with you, I don't care who wins. I mean,
Well, it's
it
hard. I
really
mean,
it
you
really
see
comes
all
to
the fights.
I like all these guys. I'm there all the time. I see all the fights. I'm just ready for good fights. If there's a good fight, man, I always tell people in my career, I'd rather lost a great fight than win a terrible one, win a boring one. Nah, I'd rather lose a great fight. And that's what I want from these guys. Just fight great. If you do that, you're a winner in my book. I don't care. We'll be cool.
Well, honestly, man, both fighters win in a classic war. Period.
Exactly.
Both fighters win.
Exactly.
So, all right. So here we come to the internet celebrity, Bryce Henry, Robbie Peralta.
Woo. Man, I mean, Peralta's been tough for us, man. I mean, he's just a veteran, understands exactly what he has to do. But I mean, how am I gonna lie? I feel like Bryce Henry right now, he might be the best guy we have under contract. I mean, that guy has been maybe this will be the fight you see a little chink in the armor. There's a problem. I don't know, but so far he's been good inside, he's been outside, he's got great range, distance, good defense, good offense. I mean, he's a problem for everybody. So
My thoughts on him exactly, man. He's incredibly naturally talented at this, man. Like this dude, he has no issue fighting bare knuckle. It's like he definitely's done it. Maybe not in front of the cameras, but he has no issue getting punched or punching.
yeah, I mean, he just looks so relaxed that it's almost like
He does.
he doesn't understand it's supposed to be hard. He's like, nah, it's supposed to be
I,
easy.
I tell you what else I was surprised. I saw video footage on, and this is off the subject, Chris, but Blueface fighting bare knuckle. So
Really?
he looks pretty comfortable too doing it.
Well, he did that one.
I know.
You know how he did that one here and kind of got in a big ruckus afterwards. So I don't know if we have him back, but
I know. But I mean, so okay, all right. So this leads up to what I've been wanting to talk to you about you all night. We were lucky enough to get the baboon. We talked to him. He's on tonight. He's next actually. And man, Austin Trout Palomino is just interesting on a lot of different levels, man. You got the pound for pound best fighter in bare knuckle, period. I think in all of bare knuckle, not just BKFC. Then you got Austin Trout, a former WA champ of the world, WBO champ of the world.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and here's the thing that he has all the tools, Austin does to be pretty phenomenal at this sport. A lot of people have different styles and everything, but I mean, a slick boxer who knows how to jab and as really one of the few guys from the boxing world to say, I'm gonna learn how to do this sport. This isn't boxing with no gloves. He understood that. So he kind of came out there and went a different route. Most boxers are kind of arrogant, think I'm just gonna come out here and dominate this. Ain't the case. They get in there, they get pushed around, they don't like it. He was able to solve that riddle against, Diego Sanchez, one of the greats in MMA. Just made him look bad, so he's really good. Now, Palomino, though, he's had a lot of fights for us. He has a lot of experience. He can win inside. He can win outside. He can do whatever it has to take to win. So I think he has a little bit of the advantage as far as just understanding he can take the fight wherever he wants to, wherever he needs to. I don't know if Trout has that. I know he thinks he can do stuff on the inside with the clinch. Don't try and do. If he tries to do that, he's going to lose. He has to stay outside. He has to control the pace. He has to control the range with that jab. If he can pop that jab enough and stay in there, but I mean that's going to be hard to do against Baboon.
Because Baboon is definitely going to figure that out and how to put the pressure on. He knows where he needs to be, but it's really impressive. And I know that a lot of people may think that the Baboon is due to lose. Some people, I hear the rumblings, it's got to end sometime, but I just don't. It's hard to bet against him for sure.
Man, here's the thing. I always talk about that. I'm like, man, this guy's gonna get old. He's gonna get old in this fight. He's gonna get you can't predict when they're gonna get old. When it happens, you'll know. And then after that happens once, don't ever bet on them again because you don't get young again. But yeah, I don't know when someone's gonna get old. You just don't know. I mean, so I held my last fight when I was 44. So he's not there yet. He might have some time.
And your last fight you won too, so you know what I'm saying?
I felt good, and I could have fought a couple more times. I had wrist surgery, and I'm just saying, hell, Houston Alexander's still going. He's older than I am, you know what I mean? So I don't know when people are going to get old. I don't know when Baboon's going to get old. Can you predict it's going to be this one? You could. Are you going to be right? Probably not, but I mean, it could be.
I'll say if
out
of any of the combat sports, man, bare knuckle, I think you could fight longer into a longer age. You got Cabbage Hunt. He wants to come back. He's 50. He's talking all in the news about wanting to be in bare knuckle again.
Hell, who else? Mark Hunt, he's dying to come fight for us.
That's what I'm talking about. Mark the Cabbage Hunt. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be he's 50. Is he 50, right? He's 50.
He's almost 50, I think. I don't know if he's 50 yet.
I wouldn't let him punch me.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of movement going on.
So, Chris, man, once again, man, we really appreciate you coming on the show and spending this much time breaking these fights down for us. Who better to get it than the voice of the BKFC, man? We really appreciate it.
Okay. Hey, man, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you have a good night.
You too, man. I'll see you down in Hollywood February 2nd, brother. All right?
Sounds good. Bye.
My man. There you have it, Circle of Kings, man. The great Chris Lights Out Lytle, the voice of the BKFC, giving us a rundown of the entire main card, BKFC 57, live February 2nd, Hollywood, Florida. And also, man, give us a little insight on, things he does for the combat community, which is fantastic, man. So stay tuned, man. Next up, we, of course, got the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in all of bare knuckle, Luis the Baboon Palomino. Scrapping and rapping, baby. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings podcast, your home for scrapping and rapping and all things combat sports. Live from the 2-6 Vietnam and the Triple P studios, here's your host, BigFace. Welcome back to the Circle of Kings, man. And as we've been going all night long tonight, getting you ready for BKFC 57, February 2nd, live in Hollywood, Florida, we got a real special treat right now to cap the show off. We got none other than the current baddest man in all of BKFC, the #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter, the lightweight champion and former double champ, Luis the Baboon Palomino. Welcome to the show, champ.
What's good, brother? Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, we appreciate you having us, man. And we're all excited getting ready for this match with you and Trout.
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
So what's it like, man? We a couple weeks out right now, Luis. Where your preparation like getting ready for this fight? I mean, against Trout.
It's been going great, man. I mean, it's been a long time off that I really don't like being so much time off. But we did come out of 3 surgeries. We got fixed up. Fixed my knuckle from the last fight, the shoulder I tore, and the toe of hell that made me retire from MMA. But we got all that fixed. We were ready to fight in the end of the year last year, but for some reason it didn't happen. So we're here now. We're targeting Trout once again because we were targeting him before. We have 2 months of camp on him, and 3 years before the fight, they switched the fight to James Lilly. We took care of that business, so now we're back to Trout, and gotta get him finished now.
Okay, so in BKFC 45, when you faced Lilly, you were going to face Trout for that fight, but they switched it out. Okay, yeah. I know that's a long inactivity for you, especially. I mean, first of all, let me just say this, man. We're huge fans here at the show. How can we not be 9-0 in BKFC, man? Legendary run you've had, Baboon, since you started in bare knuckle. Legendary.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work.
Oh, absolutely. And as my producer, P, behind the board always likes to say, he said, man, he looks like a killer. He's a badass.
Stone Cold Killer.
Stone Cold Killer. That's my God.
We'll have to put in the work, man. Over here in the 305 and Dade, we get down, brother. We get down,
So I've noticed that there's a large, conglomerate of the bare knuckle fighters in Florida. Florida's a hotbed for this, it looks like.
Yeah, I'd say I opened the doors to that. When they came down here to Florida, Jim Allers, also from here, from Florida, he was like the face of the organization, and he was a good friend of mine. We trained in the past before, and there was a little animosity in the beginning. You got to do what you got to do. We got to face each other, but we saw how fast I discarded him. That was like a 48-second fight in the first round to defend my title for the first time in BKFC history. There's only been 3 defenses. That's Joey Beltran. He had 3 defenses successful. Other than that, nobody has defended a title so many times. I have 6. February 2nd will be 7th and the first 10-0 fighter in BKFC history. Like I am right now, 9-0 and 8-0 I'm the first fighter that's ever been 8-0, 9-0. I don't think anybody has ever even reached 7.
No, and we talk about that all the time on the show, how very nearly impossible it is to be undefeated in bare knuckle, the way the fights go. It's amazing that you've done it. Not only that, I mean, while we got you here, I mean, I want to praise you on. You've had a fantastic career, period, in combat sports. I mean, you fought legends, you defeated Masvidal, you fought for top team. I mean, you fought in Bellator, World Series of Fight, and Absolute. I mean, it just goes on, and then to come, here in the twilight of your career, man, to be so dominant, it's just fantastic what you've done here, man. It's huge. I think that a lot of people sleep on it, honestly.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was a big run in MMA. In MMA, I started out late. I was 26 years old when I started training to fight. And within my first 8 months of doing jiu-jitsu, no wrestling, no conditioning training, no sparring partners, no amateur fights, without
Wow.
even knowing cutting. I fought at 170 for my first 5 or 6 fights, and we started out with the right foot. The first fight was it was like a minute 23-second knockout. Second fight was 25-second knockout. Big guys fighting guys that were 200 pounds. I didn't even have no idea they were cutting weight. It's been a long run, a long time coming.
I mean, and names, and you never. I mean, it's not like you went in there and was fighting chumps. You were fighting names right from the beginning of your career. And I do. So let's talk about February 2nd. It's a huge card, the first card of 2024, and it's stacked. You guys are heading up an awesome card. What do you say to people that say, well, I mean, Austin, he was the WBA champ from 2011, 2013. He's going to outclass you in the ring with hand skills. What do you say about that, Baboon?
And look, man, you got to give him the respect where respect is due. The man is a 2-time WBA world champion. He's been in there with the likes of Charlo brothers, Canelo the Great, right? And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Even knocked out Miguel Cotto. Like the dude's been there with some good names, But let's be real, this is not boxing. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, you'll see my skills, where I'll outbox some people. But when I want to let the animal out, I'll let the animal out. You know what I mean? And I'll brawl people. You know what I mean? I'll grind them out. I'll brawl them. I can do both. Can he do both? You know what I mean? That's the question. You know what I mean? He has a mastery of boxing, but how is that going to play out with him over here? Because we saw his debut against Diego Sanchez. And Diego Sanchez is a good friend of mine. But Diego Sanchez is known more for what? He's been in some serious wars, but that was a very long time ago. He was very inactive before that fight. And even then, he was more known as a grappler, wrestler. Even though he had that dog in him, he would go and fight with anybody. He didn't have like a high level of boxing skill. And he was recognized for that. And in striking for an MMA, I was more recognized as a striker. I've been in there with, as you said, Masvidal, Ez Edwards, like you name them, Justin Gaethje twice, and I trade with all of them.
Great fighters. Yeah, you have a great fighting record. Absolutely. Anybody go Google that and go. I did, and it's amazing.
Thank you, man. But when it comes down to it, man, this is it's not boxing, man. This is bare knuckle boxing. This is the birth of boxing. We put on gloves to protect their hands, not the faces, to make the fights last more. So you're talking about he's coming from a mentality of 10 to 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds each. This is an anaerobic sport. Most people don't understand that. This is not an aerobic sport. This is an anaerobic sport. So I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be pressing that gas, putting that pressure on him. There is clinch work. So all the Vaseline tactics that he brought in the Diego fight, that ain't going to roll in my town.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to be able to get away with that whole greasing thing. That's not going to roll in my town because they don't allow that here.
Well, the clinch is definitely the equalizer. When you talk about, first of all, bare knuckles, a lot different distance, just the punch angles, the way you guys go about parrying hands with the open hand, lots of different things happening. But yeah, that Muay Thai clinch, man, that's different. I don't know any boxers. You can't do that to you. They can't do that to you.
I spar with them. Not all, like I have to pay my sparring partners. And I'm sparring right now with a dude that's 14 years younger than me. You know what I mean? That's 17-0 with 13 knockouts. Southpaw.
Oh, wow.
But he's at a way higher pace than Trout fights. You know what I mean? And I'm doing great with the dude. You know what I mean? The guys are getting ready for some serious rounds. And when I work that clinch on boxers, they gas out faster than you would think, man. You know what I mean? Like they're not used to that grind. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be a pretty boxing match. It's just not. There's going to be a bare knuckle fight, man. It's going to be an ugly fight.
So I want to quote. We interviewed Rambo Russo. He's on earlier tonight. Of course, he's fighting that night, and he gave us a great insight. He said, boxing, it's slow, then it gets fast, but bare
Yes.
knuckle, it's fast and then it gets slow, and it's the pressure. But add on to that, what do you think about that? I think that's a great
Yeah.
way to put it.
Piggyback on what I was saying, it's an anaerobic sport. You know what I mean? Meaning you're going at 100 miles per hour from the moment the bell rings, and
Yeah.
depending on your cardio, as you said, you will start off fast and hard, and depending on your cardio and your preparation, as the rounds pass, it starts to slow down a little bit, where there's a lot more damage. There's damage in your face, there's damage in your hands. So that's the big factor, right? Was where every single combat sport out there, you feel pain when you get hit. In this sport, you feel pain when you get hit and when you hit. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right. That's right. Because you have nothing to protect your hands. And I noticed this: body shots leave a crazy damage when you guys hit them. Now you can instantly see the bruise come right now. It's not like boxing where it gets pink. Nah, them body shots are devastating.
yeah, you can
Right.
really dig. Yeah.
So, man, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I want to make sure I don't miss out on nothing from the double champ. So, okay, let's talk about this. You did say earlier you plan to be 10-0 after this fight. You plan to be the double champ again. What does the double champ want after it gets double champ twice? What do you do next, Baboon?
I set my foot deep in the ground, and I don't take no for an answer, man. You know what I mean? I've been like, I should not be out here as the 9-0 guy with 6 world title defenses, doubling the past. Like, nobody has done what I've done in the sport. And you have guys that are coming into the sport. Great. They're bringing in the popularity. They're bringing in the followers. Great. Hey, props to you. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, man, I can't be the one chasing this so-called big names. You know what I mean? Like, I spent an entire year calling out Chad Mendes on my lungs. You know what I mean? Every fight. And the dude ducked me for an entire year. It comes back to fight Eddie Alvarez. And when he's fighting Eddie Alvarez, I start attacking both of them again. You know what I mean? Because this is my weight class, right? So I start attacking. And Chad Mendes is writing to me in the DMs like, hey, champ, I respect, the call-outs and everything, but after this fight with Eddie Alvarez, I'm going to retire. That's what I hear from him. But then I'm hearing, from other sources that he's talking about doing another fight again. And then, when I'm attacking Eddie Alvarez, when he fought Mike Perry, I've been asking for the Mike Perry fight for nearly 2 years now. That's a long time to be asking for a big name fight. And specifically when you're asking for somebody that's way bigger than you. You know what I mean? Like, I walk around 172, 175 max out of shape, right? That means, like, I'm not a big person at all. Even for 155 in MMA, I wasn't a big person. I was always a small.
And he's cutting what to get to 185?
Well, Mike Perry walks around 220 pounds.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay, I knew he walked around 2 plus.
So in the post press conference of their fight, the somebody interviewing Perry asked them, hey, because before that, Eddie Alvarez said in the pre-press conference before the fight, I asked him what's up, and he said, look, Palomino, if Dave Feldman pays me what he's paying me tonight to fight tonight, I'll fight you every day of the week, twice on Sunday. That's his words, right? So then, I had aimed completely at him because I thought, well, Perry won't have no problem fighting me because he's bigger, right? And he's, right? The king of violence is fighting, right? In the post-press conference, he didn't have a very violent answer. You know what I mean? He in the post-press conference, they asked him, hey, we heard you calling out all these names, but they're not in the organization. So let's stay to the organization right now. And what do you think about fighting Palomino, who's been calling you out? And his answer, like I said, it wasn't the most violent answer. His answer was more like, well, if the organization puts him in front of me, whoever they put in front of me, I think they have to have a certain amount of followers, comments, and likes. Like,
I saw that.
Yeah, dude, like that, it really bummed me out. I'm gonna give Perry the benefit of a doubt because I know Perry. I'm cool with it. We cool. There doesn't have to be a disrespect to get into a fight with somebody or to sell a fight. I'm just very confident about myself and my skill. You know what I mean? So I'll give him the benefit of a doubt that it was his management trying to curve me because his management been curving me for a while. His management curved me when when cause I never wanted to sign with them, right? First round management. And there was a little thing with them, you know what I mean? Where I've been blocked a couple times. In the fight with Thiago Alves versus Yuli Monster, I had a fight worked out with Thiago Alves. I was negotiating money and everything. Next thing you know, here comes first round management and puts Yuli Monster, their own guy, to fight Thiago Alves to double dip, and get some more cash. Not caring who's gonna win or lose, of course, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep.
So they bumped me out of that fight. So I saw his manager with him that day, and I'm sure I think it came more from him because it didn't seem real of Mike Perry. Perry's a dog, man. You know what I mean? He ain't scared of me. He ain't scared of nobody, man. You know what I mean? I think he's a dog. He's ready to fight, but I think the management kind of made him give that whack answer that he ended up getting crucified in my page for. Like I posted that video and he got crucified in that page. I didn't say nothing, man. It was the fans like, yo, what kind of answer was that? You know what I mean? Like I thought this dude was the king of violence. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, man, I'm just not taking no for an answer. And since nobody in my weight class that is so-called big name wants to fight me, then I guess I'll step up 2 weight classes above and fight him.
Well, see, okay, so now that you bring that up, and we talked to Redneck Mandela about this, and I feel like you guys are in a lot of the same position. Of course, you want a longer run there, but in the same way, you guys. So it's not like 2 years ago. BKFC has bona fide stars at this point. So to
Yeah.
give the argument that, well, I want to fight big name fighters, you guys are big name fighters, and to say, oh, we realize you have 500,000 followers, Mike Perry. You realize, UFC. That's great. You also have a lot of background in that way too, but the fight's going to make money. And I don't think there's a fight fan in the world that doesn't want to see Palomino Mundell, Palomino Perry, Mundell Perry, those top guys, Juggernaut, whomever, all in that. We want to see that. That's the fights we want to see. I mean, that's what we're here for. That pound for pound list, we want to see them fight. That's what we love, right? And you guys are so willing to move up and down the weight classes is amazing. And that's the fans need to realize what you guys are doing when you do that. And that's because I think a lot of you guys, like you included in Redneck as well, fight closer to your natural weight than some MMA guys do.
Yeah, I made a decision, at this age, I'm aging very well, man. I take care of my body very well. I have a wife that supports me like you wouldn't believe, man, when it comes to my nutrition.
He says the same that P is your age behind the boards, and you would whip Key's ass.
Yeah.
Look, he's like this. He's like, you take
Yeah.
case.
You know what I mean? Like with the support that I got, my team, and the way I take care of my body, I feel good. But I say, you know what, man? If 155, I already doubled the defenses that was existing. It was 3, now it's 6. And I've already taken care of everybody. And the people in my weight class that are so-called big names don't want to fight me, then what am I doing here? You know what I mean? So I say, you know what, man? I spoke to Dave Feldman and I let him know, hey, look, man, if you want to take the belt, you can take it. But I'm going to go back up to 165, defend that title, because I'm not going to go. I've worked so hard to change my body definition. If you see the fight with Brito when I earned the 165-pound title,
I saw it.
I was gaining as much weight as I can. I look fat. I look out of shape. I don't look how I look at 155.
You was looking thickalicious, baboon, in that fight.
So this time that I've had off has given me enough time to program my body, to change my body around. I didn't have that time. So you can't go 155, 165, 155. You can't do that. It's not easy. Your body's not gonna turn out to be what you want it to be. You know what I mean? So I said, you know what? If I'm gonna keep targeting Mike Perry, then I might as well just fight at 165, chill at 165, and gain a little more to fight him at 175. You know what I mean? Now, I wouldn't be going after Mundell's fight. I agree with Mundell getting that fight because I do believe that Mundell should have that fight because that's his weight class and he's the champion. And right now, they're projecting Perry as like the face of BKFC. But in reality, what you're doing is I'm not counting nothing out of Perry negative. Everything he's done.
Me neither. He's amazing. I love watching his fights. Hey, shout out to you, Platinum. I mean, for real, Platinum P is dope.
Yeah, I applaud what he's done. But in reality, if you think about it, what they've done is they've given him the opportunities I've been over here nearly begging for. You know what I mean? Like, they're giving him Luke Rockhold. They gave him Michael Venom Page. Like, Eddie Alvarez. Like, who the hell won fight, you know, and throw everything in there for names like that? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't gotten those opportunities, and I'm over here sitting at 9-0 with 6 world title defenses. You know what I mean? So if people in my weight class weren't ducking me the way they were ducking me, then I wouldn't be over here at 175 trying to take Mandel's fight, man. That's last time I saw him. I mean, he's like, man, you better stop trying to take my fight. I'm like, man.
Shout out Redneck. Shout out to the Redneck. Good friend of the show for sure.
You know, I agree with Mandel. It's a fight that should be made already. Mike Perry's what, 4-0 now? 4-0, good names, and the champion in his weight class is Mandel. So I believe that fight should be made. But after this fight, sorry, Mandel, man. After this fight, I finished Trout February 2nd. The way I'm going to finish him is going to be an ugly fight. I'm going to finish him in a very nasty way. And I'm coming after Perry, man, because it's the fight to make right now. I mean, I'm trying to get paid, man. You know what I mean? I can't be sitting over here at 9-0 and getting paid less than people like Eddie Alvarez and Mike Perry. Not to take nothing from nobody. It's just I paid my dues in this game.
It's a competitive game, and that's all part of the competitive nature of the game. If you're in the game, you want the best for what you're putting your time and effort to, and nobody can argue against that, champ, at all, right? Sure. I mean, you guys give more than any athlete in the world. Honestly, combat sport athletes give more for the fans, for the sport than anybody else gives. So I will say this: that's a huge fight. Trout, you take care of Trout, you take care of business. I mean, that's a huge name you're dusting off there, Luis. I mean, that's no slouch right there.
Yes. We're 100% focused on him. We're ready for him. We're ready like right now. So from here to then, now we start to compress the time for the 2-minute rounders, and it's going to be a high-paced fight, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to I'm going to be there ringside for that fight, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you, seeing the fight. It's going to be amazing. The whole weekend's going to be amazing down there. But, man, we want to really just say thank you for coming on the show, man. We're huge fans of yours. You had an amazing career. We want to say you're a friend of the Circle of Kings, man. We'd like to have you on anytime you'll be on, brother.
You got it, my brother. Thank you for having me. Anytime, count on me.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Baboon, man. We'll see you February 2nd, brother.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir. There you had it, man. Circle of Kings right there. The #1 pound for pound baddest man in BKFC at the moment, Luis the Baboon Palomino. Make sure you tune in February 2nd, live from Hollywood, Florida. It's an amazing card. Yo, go ahead and download the app right now, BKFC app. Man, you'll never get a better bang for your buck. Paying like $7.99, you're getting pay-per-views. It's giving you access to pay-per-views for $29. I mean, you could get the whole year for what you pay for one UFC card. So once again, thanks for joining us tonight, live right here from the Circle of Kings. We can't wait to get down there February 2nd for a whole lot of scrapping and rapping, baby.